Hey everyone, Jakinto here. Today I'll be going over my preferred Blood Death Knight guild for Torghast Twisting Corridors. I'll be going over what anima powers I like to get, how I use these anima powers, and I'll also show you footage of floors 17 and 18 of layer 8 of Twisting Corridors here. Now when I'm looking for anima powers, I'm looking for powers that'll give me a lot of damage, health regeneration, and increase my maximum health. We don't want to go purely for damage as we do need health regen and maximum health to be tanky enough to survive the end floors there. And we don't want to go purely mitigation and max health and regen as we do need enough damage to kill the final boss. So let's get into it and take a look at my preferred anima powers here. So in my opinion, the absolute best anima power you can get is Undertaker's Crown. This causes Lich One to radiate death coils onto your target or yourself while you're injured. Now this anima power alone deals a lot of damage as those death coils really pump into your enemies. To build around this, you should take a lot of stacks of Lich Robes. Lich Robes decreases Lich One's cooldown by 10 seconds per stack when you death strike. Ideally you'd be at 6 stacks, so you only have to do 2 death strikes in order to get your Lichborn back, but 4 stacks would work, so you just need to do 3 death strikes to get it back. So the idea of this is to keep 100% uptime on Lichborn so you can keep those death coils radiating onto your target and radiating onto yourself when you need the healing. So that's really the bread and butter of the spec. Going Undertaker's Crown as soon as you can get it, and then stacking up those Lich Robes. Now to build around that, you want to buff up your damage. So early on, when you're on the earlier floors, just worry about taking those damaging increase anima powers. One of the best ones you can get is Monstrous Concoction. Death Coils healing infuses you or your minions with power, increasing your attack speed and damage done by 15% per stack, and it stacks up to 2 times. So I have 5 Monstrous Concoctions currently. I'm at 75% per stack, and it lasts for 1 minute, so you can have 100% uptime on this as long as you have 100% uptime on Lich 1 as well. Now this is a huge damage increase. The more you can get of these, the better. This damage buff will pretty much be permanent with the Undertaker's Crown build, as well as all the Lichborn stacks, so it's a lot of damage that you're getting. Now to further build around Undertaker's Crown, anything that increases your strength will definitely buff up that death coil damage a lot as well. So Elythium weights, 30% strength, although I can't jump anymore, it's still worth taking this as that's a lot of extra damage I'm getting. Tremor Beast Heart, as you do get that primary stat as well as the regenerating health, and anything else really that will increase your strength. Now along with building around Undertaker's Crown, you also want to build around your Death Strike. To do this, you want to stack up Skull Bloomer, which increases the damage of your Death Strike by 75% per stack. Skull Bloomer also increases the healing by your Death Coils by 75%, so it has very nice synergy with Undertaker's Crown, as the death coils going into you will heal you for a lot more. Another nice anima power that works well with Undertaker's Crown is Bone Harvester. Your death coils will leave a dot on the enemy target, which will deal a lot of damage, especially since you're radiating a lot of death coils into your enemy. So get this if you can as well. And that's pretty much all you really need in terms of your damaging anima powers. So you have Undertaker's Crown and Lich Robes, which is kind of your bread and butter. That's what you want to get for sure. Then you have your Skull Bloomer to buff up the death coil healing as well as your death strike damage. And building around that, you just get as many Monstrous Concoctions as you can, and as many strength buffs as you can as well, just to boost up that damage. Make sure you're freeing those souls as well for those soul remnant buffs, which give you 1% main stat per buff. Other notable damaging anima powers to take is a Horseman's Call, which summons a Horseman of the Ebon Blade to fight for you for a little bit. It deals a decent amount of damage. You can have multiple stacks of this and have multiple horsemen fighting with you at the same time. Blood Tinged Poker increases damage by Sacrificial Pact by 300%. It has no cooldown, and it reduces the cooldown of your Raised Dead by 25 seconds. This isn't as big on single target, but it definitely deals a lot of AoE damage. If you're running Super Strain, Frost Tripper is great. Frost Fever has a chance to reduce your target's health by 5%. And on a boss fight, it usually triggers between 1 to 2 times, so 5 to 10% health off the boss is a good chunk. Now if you're Venthyr, Death's Deliverance will deal a decent amount of damage. It causes your Door of Shadows to have an AoE effect while your Swarming Mist is active. Mask of Withering is also great to have. It increases the enemy damage taken by 20% once you pass through them with Door of Shadows, so it has really good synergy with the Death's Deliverance there, as Door of Shadows now does 2 things at once. That's pretty much all the damaging anima powers that I like to have. Now moving on to the anima powers that give us some mitigation, mainly health regeneration and maximum health. So for health regeneration, I really like getting Hunger Stone. It makes Death Strike heal for an additional 10% max health over 5 seconds each stack, which is a great amount of healing overall, especially if you have multiple stacks of this, as you will be able to Death Strike a lot. Now for maximum health, Secret Spices is awesome to have. Killing a Mallrat grants you 2% max health up to 100%. So you can pretty much get 100% max health pretty easy if you get this early on. It's just a great amount of health that you're able to get from this. Other notable mitigation anima powers is Oberon Endurance, which increases your max health by 15% per stack. That's nice to have as well. If you have no other good options, I would choose Creeping Decay, as you do get 10% reduced damage while standing in your Death and Decay, which that's quite a high uptime of reduced damage. If you have multiple stacks of this, it can definitely help you out for those later layers and the end boss. And that's really all you need to run this build. So I'm on layer 8 of Twisting Corridors right now. I've been able to get this build every single layer that I've done Twisting Corridors. I don't know, maybe I'm just super lucky, but hopefully you guys will be able to get this as well. So now I'm just going to run through floor 17 and show you how it works here. So I'll start the pull off with Dancing Rune Weapon, Rune Tap, and Vampiric Blood, just to get some mitigation going. And once I'm able to Lichborn, I'll pop Lichborn right away. And from there, I can definitely pull quite a bit bigger. As long as you keep up Lichborn and your Vampiric Blood, you'll be all good. And you can pull pretty much as big as you want here. Lichborn is now up again. And as you can see, I'm doing 80,000 damage now, so just a ton of damage. I have 150% damage increase and 150% attack speed increase from Monstrous Concoction, which is just absolutely huge. So just really wrecking these mobs a lot here. And I'd say it's definitely worth getting all of the soul remnants and all of the anima powers that you can get, just going around to the floors and getting all of them that you can, just to be safe for that last boss, as each of these layers take about an hour and a half to do. So it takes quite a long time. It might even be longer if you don't get lucky with anima powers or just aren't pulling too big. So definitely make sure you're getting all the powers that you can so you don't have to go back and redo the layer. At this point, I'm pretty comfortable with the build I have. I'm able to kill the final boss no problem. It's kind of the end game build that I'm good with. But I'll still go around and kill everything. As you can see, we have a big pull coming up here. But no worries, we're able to just pop our defensives, Rune Tap, AMS, keep Lichborn up, and keep up Vampiric Blood just so we have a lot of max health to work with. And really, those Lichborns will just be radiating into us if we need the healing. It'll be going on to the enemies if we don't need the healing, and our Death Strikes to supplement healing and damage as well. We're doing almost 100k damage now, so we're really pumping them down. Ideally, I'd have one more stack of Lich Robes. I'm at 5 right now, so I'd still need 3 Death Strikes in order to get Lichborn back. But if you can get up to 6, that's amazing. So yeah, right now I'm kind of just clearing the layer out just to be safe. I should be fine for the last boss, but I don't want to risk anything at all. And it's nice to just be a bit more powerful, you know? That being said, I'll skip mobs on the side. If there's no like anima powers or anything there, I'll just skip the mob, no problem there. So just about to fight the mini boss for this layer here. Just make sure your Monstrous Concoction stacks do not drop off. As you can see right now, I don't have any stacks, so I'm going to have to radiate Death Coils into myself, as opposed to the Undertaker Crown doing it for me. Just because I'm already at max health, you won't get any Death Coils, and you won't be getting those buffs. So just keep an eye on that, but as long as you have those stacks up, and keeping up Lichborn and Vampiric Blood as much as you can, you'll be doing a ton of damage with this build here. As you can see, I'm doing almost 70,000, there we go, 70,000 single target damage, which is just huge. And this final boss is going to absolutely melt, as you can see this guy did. We're about to fight the final boss, floor 18 of layer 8, the final round of Twisting Corridors here. So we're just going to spend our Phantasma. We have a lot, not too much stuff to buy, so I'm just going to buy everything. See if we get anything from these plundered anima cells here. Let's see. We don't need any more Phantasma, so we'll get Mastery. And for this one, we'll just get the Critical Strike here. And we'll go into the boss here again. Pop defensives early on, just so you're not getting one shot off the bat. Keep your Vampiric Blood and Lichborn up, and you'll just be radiating those Death Coils into the boss. I'm staying at max health, so I actually need to use Death Coils into myself again, so I get the buff. And there we go. And this is the boss that's going to split. They're just going to keep splitting into multiple adds here. That's going to happen in a little bit, and once that happens, we'll be dealing a bit more damage just because it is AoE damage. As you can see, we're doing over 70k damage, and this guy is just getting destroyed here. I do have a bunch more anima powers that I just haven't really been using a whole lot, just because the Lichborn, the Death Coils from the Lichborn is so good. It just deals so much damage, plus your buff from Monstrous Concoction, just slapping them away. And there we go. Layer 8, floor 18, we just got the Mount Corridor Creeper. And that's it. So that's it. I hope this helped you in some way figure out the build that you need in the Twisting Corridor just to get your mount there. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate the support. Please like the video, subscribe if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one.